What's up, landlords? How you doing today? Alrighty, so I want to go over the LLC structure. There's a lot of landlords asking questions about should I have an LLC, um, and so on and so forth. And I would like to talk about before you actually just end up getting any random LLC, how to properly choose the most advantageous LLC naming structure that you actually can create a system out of. And we're going back to the triangle. It's simple. And what I have done with my business, and I hope this will be helpful to you guys, is I have three LLCs. I have a holding company, a management company, and a consulting company. And one important thing to point out, one of the biggest reasons why we get LLCs is to limit the liability. And in a court of law, you need to be able to prove that these are separate entities and they're separate organizations, and they're not, you're not commingling funds, you're not mixing business operations. They need to be each individual standalone entities, right? So that's the most important thing that we want to point out. And in the beginning, you probably are not going to want to get three different LLCs, but I would recommend at least having a management LLC. And that also helps you, get the advantage of the plain vanilla business kind of feel with your tenants. You can have a business account and so on and so forth, and then a professional email. Well, you cannot get away with doing everything with your personal information. At least I don't recommend doing that. You don't want the tenants to know your personal email, your personal number, and you don't want to having them pay rent straight into your personal account. If you can, maybe in the very, very beginning, you might start out doing that way. But I want to show you what I think is a better alternative. And let's get into it. All right, so we got this three-part LLC structure, and then how does this actually work? At least how I've got it going for my personal endeavor here. So if they're standalone businesses, they need to make profits, and they need to be able to provide services, correct? So let's just focus on management right now. You can replace holdings with your personal name and your personal bank account. So if you have a legitimate management company and you have an LLC, this management company is going to have its own bank account and its own operations and stuff. It's going to be providing service. The yellow line is providing service to you as a owner, your personal name, or if it's a holding company that owns the asset. So let's say you pay the property completely off and you transfer the ownership to your holding company. Now the holding company is technically the owner, and they would have their own business bank account and EIN number, and this would have its own business bank account, EIN number. So in a perfect world, the management company provides services to the holding company. The holding company pays them for the service with the green line. That's pretty easy to understand. And if you have your personal checking in your personal name, and or let's say you own the property in your personal name, so the management company will be paying you or providing service to you, and you'll be paying them directly. And you want to make sure that this is happening, and you could prove this. So it's hard if you're trying to do everything on your own, and then you create an LLC, but you're using your own personal account. And if you go to court, they're going to be like, okay, we're going to pierce the corporate veil here because you're a one-man ship. You're running everything. It's all blended together. You can't prove that this is a replicable business. And that's what we're trying to avoid. That's the one of the biggest reasons why we get the LLC, to limit the liability. And I'll just quickly touch on it just because it's a big, I guess hot button issue. People want to buy a investment property and they're not living there, and it's in their name. They have a mortgage that's in their name, but they want to get some liability protection. So there's bad advice out there that tells them, go ahead and transfer the ownership of the property. You can get with a lawyer and do a quick claim deed, and now your LLC is going to own that rental property, but you have a mortgage in your personal name. That's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion, because there's always fine print in most of these mortgages where it's a due on sale clause. If you change the ownership, that means now they have the upper hand. At any point in time, they can just say, hey, we want all our money out. And why would a bank do this? People say, oh, the banks never do this. And if you just constantly keep paying, there's no issue here. Well, it gets really complicated if your investment property is in another state, if you die as the owner, the investor, and then your family want to take it over, or if you go to court and you got it, your mortgage is in your LLC's name, but you have a mortgage that's in your personal name, and that is a breach of the contract. That doesn't look good on you. Like, why would you do that? You're not supposed to do that. What are you going to tell the judge? Oh, well, I was told that as long as you keep paying, it's not a problem. And if you wanted to take out a HELOC on that property, let's say it's in your LLC's name and you got some equity in it, the first thing they're going to do is look up the ownership. They're going to see it's in the LLC's name, and you as an individual is trying to get a HELOC. They're going to like, hey, we can't work with you. You're going to have to transfer it back into your personal name. Then we'll give you a HELOC. Or let's say you want to do a refinance cash out, but if you moved it into your LLC, the first thing you're going to do is like, hey, this is an LLC. We can't help you. You need to move it back to your personal name, and then we'll do a refinance cash out, and you can get a lower interest rate. So it's just a can of worms. It just messes. I think it overcomplicates. It doesn't really help that much. And in my opinion, the best way is pay the thing all the way off, then transfer to ownership, and that's the right way to do things, And if you want to get an LLC, once you transfer to ownership into your LLC when it's fully paid off, if you want to approach a bank, now you say the asset is fully paid off. I want a HELOC in my LLC's name, or I want to refinance it in my LLC's name. And then by that time, if the home's fully paid off, you can present your tax returns and show that this business is profitable, and they would be able to work with you or LLC as a profitable business and loan you accordingly. But you got to be able to prove that your business is profitable. It's kind of like shooting ourselves in the foot as a landlord. A lot of times we want to write off everything, and we want to, do as much as we can to make the business look not profitable because it's better for taxes. But then if you want to go take out loans or leverage or something with your business, your LLC, if they're looking at the business, they're gonna be like, hey, this thing is not profitable. We're not gonna lend you any money. But if you want money, you can transfer it in your personal name, and then we'll lend you some stuff. I don't know. I probably went off on a tangent too far there, but let's bring the consulting in to the mix now. So the consulting firm, your personal firm, brand, kind of like what I'm doing here and everything, I'm operating under my consulting LLC, is going to provide service to your management company, and it's going to provide service to your holding company. In return, the holding company is going to pay the consulting company, and the management company is going to pay the consulting company. Now it's like this: everybody's getting providing services to each other, and everybody's paying each other, so everybody can afford their bills, and they're all separate here. And ideally, as you get more successful, you get employees, or maybe you want to give some ownership to your kids, and you can have all these really looking like legitimate businesses, and you are not the only one. This is like where we're all trying to get if you're building a business and you want it to last forever. So this just needs to get done. If not, you're commingling, you're mixing everything, and your accounts are, what emails are you using? It gets all jumbled up, and it's hard to really show distinction between the entities. And I don't recommend, at least me, I don't do it, putting each individual property into its own LLC. That just overcomplicates it. Me talking about 3 different LLCs right here, people are probably like, what? This is way too much. You don't have to do it this way. This is what I've evolved into. You can try to just start out with just a management LLC if you want to, take your business to the next level. Let's move on. I mentioned emails and how complicated all the accounts and everything could get, and I went through that mess, and this is what's been the most efficient for me. I don't know if you know what an email alias is, but if you have your 3 companies, the management, the holding, and the consulting, you're going to buy those domains, right? So now you have 3 separate emails, and the naming convention will be yourbusinessmanagement.com, yourbusinessholdings.com, yourbusinessconsulting.com. Now that you have those 3 domains that have your same business name in each one, the only thing that's different is at the end of your business name, you have management, and then you have holdings, and then you have consulting. If you make an email account, let's call it super admin. Now this can be super admin at your management company.com. That's an email. And you could do the same thing as super admin at your holdings company, super admin at your consulting company. The reason why you want to use the same name is because you can have all of them forward to your main email account that you want to operate on. Because ideally, you just want one email account that you can run your whole entire operation with. So I put the .io here. So ideally, you'd get your business name .com, but it's very hard to find .com like business names. Like everything is taken. But .io is pretty popular, and it's more of a techie type of domain. And I've just been seeing it everywhere. And now that I pointed out to you, maybe you'll start seeing it. So the reason why you need 3 separate emails is because when you have 3 separate bank accounts, they will not let you use the same email account for the bank accounts because they're legitimate businesses, correct? You can, if you went to the same bank and you tried to create 3 different bank accounts and you wanted to use this email, you would create this account successfully fine for your management company LLC. Bam. Now you're like, all right, let me go apply again and get a separate business banking account for my holding company. And then when you put that same email in, they're gonna be like, hey, it won't work. It's there's already a customer with this email account. So I ran into this problem. And then also, which bank is the most efficient when you have multiple business banking accounts with the same bank, and how can you transition between one bank account to the next without having to log out and log back in? And I've tested a lot. So everything I'm telling you that I'm sharing is something that I've gone through, struggle, and tested a lot of different stuff and say, hey, this works. So I had business banking with Oslo. Then I had Axos, which is like Bank of the Internet or Business Bank of the Internet or something like that. B of I is what they used to call it. Then I had another one called Axos, I believe. And I even tried like Cabbage and some of these other processes stuff, or Blue. There's something Blue. There's another Blue one because I read a bunch of articles and everything, and I'm not going to believe what these people say the best one is. So I'm going out of my way, creating multiple business accounts, trying it out. How do they operate with receiving the rents and everything, and paying, how long does it take to transfer and all stuff, whatever. I ultimately settled on Mercury.com. Very streamlined, very efficient. It's so clean interface. You can log in with. You'll have to have 3 separate emails for your management, holdings, and consulting company, but you can go down to the bottom and switch between each individual account really seamless. And it's like the best experience that I've had personally with what I'm doing. If you want to check them out, I'll provide some links and share some stuff. The links that I'll share are like usually some kind of mutual benefit. Like, hey, if you refer somebody and they do this, spend this much, or, they sign up, you'll get a kickback, they'll get a kickback. So, if you click my links, I would appreciate it because that actually helps me and it should help you as well. You'll see like you're being invited or referred by me or something like that. But, all right, let's continue on. The management forwards to the .io, the holdings forwards to the .io, and the consulting forwards to the .io. And now you understand how this kind of works. So let's dive in a little bit. And when you have your alias emails set up like this, these 3 right here, superadmin at your management. Let me zoom in so it will show the whole name. So you'll have superadmin at, let's call it yourbizmanagement.com. Then you have superadmin at yourbizholdings.com, superadmin at yourbizconsulting.com. You absolutely have to have 3 separate emails to have 3 separate business accounts. And I work with Mercury in this, and they are going to investigate you and make sure you're a replicable business. So you need to make sure you have a website. You need to have a LinkedIn account. You need to have like EINs, and with your local state, have the appropriate formation paperwork and stuff like that. So in your management account, there's pretty much just two different kind of like things that I want to point out that you'll have to use this email with. You'll have it with your bank like we've discussed, and then a property management software as a service. Let's say you're a replicable management company, you need to be having a management software, right? Because you're going to be using that to provide management services to the owner, which is here. And the reason why I also listed it for the holding company is because they log into the same software usually as an owner, and they could see, reports and stuff like that. So you would probably use this email for the bank and this. But if the bank emails you with this email account, it's going to get forwarded to this. So you only got to be logged into this email. And if this bank emails you for something, it's going to get forwarded to this. So you can respond back with this one, but they're going to know that it came from a different email. Sometimes they'll be like, hey, we need you to log into this email and talk to us specifically from this email right here. It only happens rarely. It's like, look, I CC the same one and it's getting forwarded to this one. And I tell them, hey, I'm just operating out of this as my primary. And sometimes they have their own policies, but all you got to do is log into this specific email. And if you don't know how to do email aliases, that's something that I show in detail in the 4 Delta Mastermind. It's the paid landlord community that I offer, because this takes a lot of effort to set up, and you're going to want to maybe get there one day in the future. But I'm going to share it with you right now to be like, oh, so maybe it opens up your mind a little bit and kind of grasp this, and hopefully it can help you with whatever you're doing right now. And by no means do you need to do this too soon. Like, it took me a while. Like, I've been doing this over 10 years before I got to this level, and whatever this setup is even referred to as, it kind of evolved over time. All right, so your consulting account. So ideally, like, once you get real freedom and this is set it and forget it, and this is just running itself, your business is paid off and it's sustainable and you got everything on lock, you have this consulting one right here. Because for me, it's like, okay, what am I going to do when I have real freedom and I want to still serve people and follow my passion, and I love being a landlord and everything? That's how this came about. Now I'm doing landlord communities and I'm trying to share what I've learned. Because one thing that bothers me with landlords is everybody's out doing their own thing. It's like the Wild West. We're all learning on our own and figuring out systems on our own. And sometimes some people share some stuff here and there, but we all have our own my side bias, and you're getting information from all kinds of different landlords. Some landlords are old school, they do everything on their own, and they're going to give you advice skewed to that. And then you have other landlords that's like, hey, I outsource everything. I don't want nothing to do with this, and I have the best property manager, and I love everything. Then you're getting information from them. And then now with me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my best to help give out information that people can use, and it'll better them and their business and their family. And then they hopefully will share the information, and maybe we can invite some more people in these communities. And then it's like synergy. It kind of reminds me of some of like really, impressive people, what they've done in their lives in the past, like Ben Frank and George Washington Carver. I shared some stuff on them. And then also what Elon Musk is doing. He's like really trying to help a lot of people. And the way we do that is, putting ourselves out there. I've never done anything like this, and trying to help. That's ultimately what I'm trying to do here. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Please give me some feedback. So you got your banking with your consulting company, and then the reason why this is orange is because there's a lot of accounts that are what I consider junk accounts. So like, let's say you're gonna log into some account and you're gonna buy something. Let's say you're gonna go to Vistaprint one time, and you don't want all the spam, and you're not gonna be paying Vistaprint on a regular basis. You log in with this. What I did is just put your name, your business name, consulting.com @gmail.com. I don't trust Gmail, fully, because I do have a business, Google My Business account with my Gmail account, and I have some Google Docs, but they're very intrusive in my opinion, and they change their policies all the time, and they will lock you out of your account for inactivity. And if you don't go into the terms of services and the policies and everything that's changing all the time, and make sure you set it to be like, hey, if this account is not if it's inactive for like more than 30 days, I don't want it to be closed. So you have to go in there and extend it to like 90 days and other stuff. But I just gave me a sense that it's not forever. Like, I can't depend on Google and what their infrastructure is, and it's not a long-term kind of play for me. So I decided to take my business a different way, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out my domains and my own cloud storage and stuff that I control. And if it's inactive for years, and if I keep paying and I got it set up, and emails are forwarding to other accounts and everything, it's going to be, all my storage and everything is going to be there. So it's just my preference, what I did. So all the accounts that I know are not important, I log in with this. So I don't deal with all the emails, the updates there. Everyone's updating their terms of services. Everybody's selling something and promoting something. And I never log into this unless I have to. And it really helped me stay more clean inbox and everything. So with a lot of the consulting stuff that I do, I guess I could have listed a whole bunch of different consulting accounts, because I primarily am working for myself in the consulting, and I oversee these two, as I'm providing consulting services for these. I didn't list them all under the yourbizconsulting.com, because ultimately I only log into one email account, and I'm just going to have everything logged into superadmin at yourbusiness.io. And I have one more alias, but I actually have my name, Renee, at mybusiness.io. So whenever I'm going direct with people and stuff like that, I'm not using my primary super admin one. The super admin, this is the backbone of your business. So this should only be used for like infrastructure, important, keep your stuff business alive, if that makes sense. So like, when my tenants email into superadmin at mymanagementcompany.com, it forwards to Renee at mymanagementcompany.com. Then I respond to them, Renee, and then my wife has one, and if you have other family members or anybody else that's going to help you out, you can give them an account, their name. It shows you're more replicable, and this is like a catch-all receiving email. So let's move on over here to some of the accounts that you're going to want to, which are really under the consulting, but you just use this email, like bookkeeping or legal and professional services. So this is a service that we provide over here. When each year, as a LLC in the state of Florida, we have to file, and we have to also have a registered agent. So what I do under this account, I do it for the management LLC, the holdings LLC, and consulting LLC. Because at one point, I had it all separate. I was trying to put all accounts that were associated with management here, and all accounts associated with holdings here, and then consulting. Then I was logging in and filing for the annual requirement, and redoing the registered agent, and then I did it, and I log out and log back in with this, and then log out, log back in with this, and I hated it because it was just like, man, what account goes weird and everything. I was like, I'm just gonna put every single thing under the consulting LLC, but I'm using this email. So continue education, like for my family, we have a business Audible account, and like for me, I buy a whole bunch of self-improvement and investing, real estate, any kind of books that are interesting to me. And I have the app on my phone, and I share it with my wife, and when my kids get older, I'll share it with them. So we have like a library. I have like over 500 books that they can log in. They're part of the company, and they can listen to these, and they can purchase more, and it's a business expense. It's continuing education. Dues and subscriptions. So let's say you have, use Adobe Illustrator or use Adobe Acrobat, and you pay for that on a monthly basis, or you have hosting, you have a website and stuff. So that's all under the consulting here, under the .io email. Advertising, if you're going to list the properties for the management company, you can do it under this account, and this in your consulting company is paying for the like $10 or whatever it costs to list it here or there, because they're providing the service for the management company, the advertising or listing. Or if you want, you could log in over here, but then it gets messy because now you got a Zillow account with this email, and then as you start listing more and more things under this one, might as well just outsource it to the consulting, let the consulting handle this stuff. And then you keep all these accounts under one. And that's the email that you're primarily operating in anyways. So office supplies, like office expense and supplies, phone, utilities. If you had a workspace, an office space, you could easily pay for that with your consulting account. And then softwares, like this is called Lucid Charts. This what I'm using to teach these lessons on. I purchased that with my consulting company. And investing too. So let's say you want to create an investing brokerage, and you want to take some of your profits and invest it in the market, or maybe you want to do like a crypto, you want to invest some money in cryptocurrencies, but you can open these accounts with your LLC, your consulting LLC, and you can invest your money into stuff like that. So that's it in a nutshell. It keeps me as organized as I can get, at least as the most efficient so far. One other thing, did I have something else down here? Oh yeah. Okay, so how do you pick these names? I almost forgot about this. This is like the biggest, part. So I want to give you some tips and some ideas to make sure you pick your business in a methodical, manner. You can go to Namelix or Nameify right here, and or Wikipedia, and start with your surname. Like you can look up your last name or maybe even your first name to get some ideas, because you don't want it to be your exact name. Let's say your last name is Smith. You don't want it to be Smith Holdings, because obviously that's taken probably, and Smith Management. And then if you're working in this business, they're going to know it's owned by you. But what you could do is you could start with Smith and say, hey, what's my heritage? What does Smith mean? And go get some ideas, and then you could use that word for all of them. So let's just start with the Smith. So if you look up Smith on Wikipedia, it means to smite. I'm not saying I'm not saying you want to name your business this, but this is just me trying to help you get these domains, because it's very difficult to find domains nowadays. And people will be like, hey, should I get this .info or .tech or .random endings that nobody's ever heard of, that nobody uses? And my recommendation is no, because that does not look inviting to a tenant. They're not used to seeing that. Most tenants are used to seeing .com, and they don't want to be spammed or scammed or anything, and they'll be reluctant if you're operating under some random domain ending. So let's say Smite is what you want to do for your business. So you put Smite Holdings, Smite Management, Smite Consulting, and Smite.io. But you would have to go check and make sure these are even available. Ideally, it would be cool if you could get Smite.com. Then you don't have to do the IO. You just replace that with .com. So you can go to Namecheap, GoDaddy, or Cloudflare is my preferred domain registrar. And then also, wherever you're going to make the LLC, like in Florida, we have Sundays.org. You want to make sure that name is not been used, because you can't have a business name that somebody else has. So there's a lot to, thinking this through before you commit and just get any old random LLC. And if you go with a law firm, especially a non-real estate specific law firm, like a generalist, they'll probably set you up with an LLC that has your full name. That's not what you want, in my opinion. So, let's say Jones is your name. You could just go to wiki/Jones and maybe do some research in here and read around and say, hey, where's Jones? Where's that come from? And this could lead you down some path to where you might find, look, son of John, or you could just pick some kind of name that's associated with your heritage, or maybe any other name that means something to you. And once you got it, you can go to, or maybe let's say you can't figure it out, maybe you can go here and get some ideas. This is a business name generator, and I'm going to put these links below. They're free services. Let's say you want to make your name your biz. Let's say that's going to be your name. Or let's say Sir Biz, because it's going to be your last name. These generators just help you get some ideas, and you can play around with this. You want random. How high? Let's go high random. Yes. Generate. Let's see what this one does. Still thinking. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because now you can get a bunch of random names and ideas and styles and stuff. I'm going to close this because it's going to slow down everything. Okay, these are ideas for stores. I guess you can look. Do you want a domain that ends in .website and .online? And people don't use these. So, or some of these down here. What was that? It was just showing .tech, Uno, store. No. Do whatever you can to get the .com ones, and then .io. This one right here. So I showed you kind of roughly how to, get some ideas, picking your names, your naming convention, And now when you're going to go buy the domain, before you buy the domain, you want to see if they're available, and you want to check it with your local, you know, Secretary of State, whatever state you're going to form your LLC in. And you're welcome to do it in Florida. Florida's an awesome state. There's no rules that say you have to have your LLC in the state that you operate in. But let's go to some domain registrars and do some research. So let's say we're looking for yourbiz.com. Well, first we would go yourbizmanagement.com and then see if this is available. I went to Namecheap because this is a good starting point. You don't want to keep your domain here. Well, at least I've purchased some here because they can form brand new domains and stuff if they've never been formed. See, this is a new.com, and they give you a promo. They're going to form this one because nobody's used this one. So this one's available, right? You can add it to cart, buy it after 60 days. I transfer my stuff to Cloudflare. They're the biggest and baddest worldwide. I mean, I've worked with some developers and read forums and everything, and most people love Cloudflare. Some people will still have their domains on like GoDaddy and stuff, but I just went ahead and moved mine to Cloudflare, and I just got everything on Cloudflare, and it's under my super admin at my business.io account. And I pay to keep my domains, current, and it's set up on ACH with PayPal because I like to have stuff set it and forget it. But you can start here and purchase it here. Just know that you can create a account with Cloudflare, add your domains. After 60 days, you can click the button, and Cloudflare will walk you through the process of how to transfer it over. With this community and what I'm doing with you guys, offering this for free, I'm not going to take you through every step and show you all how to set up this. I'm talking at a high level and to give you guys some ideas. And you're very smart. Most people can figure this out on your own. So, all right, we got this one. Let's see if yourbizconsulting.com is available. Looking good. And then, see, that's another new one. And then holdings. Yourbiz holdings. But if you try to just go yourbiz.com, I almost guarantee this is not available. Unless you want to pay almost $20,000. But if you change this to yourbiz.io, let's see if that one. It's taken. So in my opinion, I wouldn't mess with it. Maybe you could reach out and try to contact this person, see if they'll sell it to you. But then if they know you want it, they're going to hike up the price. So I'd do more research and just say, hey, all right, let's start over. Let's do SirBizManagement.com. If your name, not SirBiz.com, SirBiz Management. Okay, this one's available. SirBizConsulting.com. This one's available. Now, holdings. All right, so far we might have a winner, but then I think it said this one was taken, but SirBiz.com. That one's taken since 2012, so somebody is probably not going to be wanting to get rid of that, but let's see if .io is available. This one's good. The .ios are a little bit more expensive, but to renew them, if you transfer it over to Cloudflare as the registrar, they don't do any markup. Like, they're the best. It's like the cheapest. But you could purchase it here because if they're selling it here, and you could also try to search in Cloudflare for domains, but I don't know if they create them. They have as many options as Namecheap. Namecheap is a really good starting point, but I would get these domains out of here and then just have everything under Cloudflare after. And you could do the same research I showed using GoDaddy. And then, like I said, you really want the .coms. You do not want this movies, tech, net. It's a mess out here. It's hard to find domains. I'm just doing my best to try to give you some ideas and see if this could be helpful. But once you have your domains and you want to have your company, you have to go check in Florida. This is where you can go. And I'm going to provide these links for you guys. You can go SirBiz, and let's just search. Actually, it's going to be holdings. I don't have to do all of these. What's going on here? I'm going to close these ones. And then you can just go SirBiz. It looks like nobody has SirBiz holdings. service management. Looks like it's good in Florida. And then consulting. Then I guess it's not going to update. Let me see. I guess this is what it's suggesting. So there's none of that in here. So you'd be good in Florida to form this LLC, and you can do this all on your own. And I'm not going to show you everything. You have to figure it out on your own or get with a lawyer. But at least I hope this is helpful. At least you're thinking and trying to create a system, and you're looking at your business like forever with the forever difference concept. Let's see what I got. I think that's it. I got some action items here for you guys. Get your 3-part business name structure set up. Juices going, thinking about it, considering it. You don't have to start it right now, but at least maybe, I guess ponder some ideas. And it's kind of fun for me to do this, even if you're not ready to move forward. Like it would be cool to kind of do the research and figure out what kind of name you would come up with, and if the domains are available, because you'd want to buy all 4 domains. I want to say it's like $9 or $8 a year to renew the domain. And so I was like not reluctant. I jumped in right away and got my domains. And get the Zoho Vault. This helps me with password keepers. Like if you go to this link, it's a referral link. I think you can get the Zoho Vault for one person for free. But when you have a business and you want to have like other people, like you want to share your passwords with your wife and other employees or other people that are going to be working in your business, like an accountant, a lawyer, or somebody, or you're going to give this over to a law firm and have somebody else run it, you can create separate accounts and only share what you want with these people. Like let's say you have a virtual assistant and you want to give them access to some accounts, the username and the password. They would be able to go in and then only have access to those. But that's a paid feature, and you won't start off with that right away. But you could upgrade into the future. At least that's what I have, because let me go up here. So if you go into the vault, you'll log in. I log in with the super admin at mycompany.io, and then I have all my accounts, all passive personal ones, and I have ones for the management, the holdings, the consulting, and I have my junk ones in there. And I select all, and I share it all with my wife, and I give my wife an account, our business account. She has her name at ourbusinessname.io, and then I have my name at ourbusinessname.io, and I log in with my name at ourbusinessname.io. She logs in with her name at ourbusinessname.io, and then the super admin one, that's only for like when you're building and constructing the backbone of the business, and then you log out of that one. That one is the super admin account that you don't use on a daily basis. That's the one that you only go in like an IT expert to kind of build and construct and stuff, and then share the accounts with people. And then you back out and you go back in with your personal name, because you're trying to build this business to outlive you. You don't want everything set up with your name only. Like if I had my first name in every single one of these, somebody can't just step right in. Like if something happened, I work a dangerous job, I'm in the Middle East and I'm gone. Like I need this to be set up where my wife can just step in and control everything, personal stuff, business stuff. And then ideally I want to set it up where I can hand it off to I'll create the trust, hand it off to a law firm. Obviously I'll have to pay them, but I'm going to say, hey, this is the only email you need, and this is how you can keep my business sustainable and functionable, like and check with my descendants, my family, or other business stakeholders if problems come up or issues, or you have questions or something like that, and then pay out accordingly after all the bills are paid. Share it with family members, and then hopefully encourage some of my descendants' family to get involved in the business and continue it on, And I'm at least trying to get there. That's my goal. It's big and for me, and I'm moving in that direction. So that's how all this has evolved over the years. If you're just in it short term and I just want to get some rentals for a little bit and then I'm selling everything and get out, you probably are overwhelmed with this. But maybe you might be interested in having at least the management LLC set up, and some of this hopefully was helpful for you guys. Please give me some feedback. I think that's it for now. This video went longer than the rest of them, but it took a lot and effort for me to set up everything. So please let me know if this was helpful, you got questions or anything, and get involved. I'm going to share the invitation to the free 4 Delta intro landlord community we have, and share this with other landlords, please, because the community gets better with more people, more input, more diversity in thoughts and questioning and tactics and theories and strategies and all that stuff. So appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, if I'm sharing this on YouTube and you guys aren't in the community, look below and I'll have the invitation. It's a school community. It's free to join, log in, and then you can get into the private community that we have. It's for landlords only. You can ask questions. You can take the course. I have a lot of other material, not everything that I put out. I share on other platforms like YouTube and other places. I'm trying to use School because it's a distraction-free platform, no ads. It's very niche down, hyper focus on landlording and be the best landlord you can. So please join us there on School. You can get there if you go to school.com/4delta-intro. That's the invite to our community. Thank you so much. Bye.